All right. Thanks so much for being on the Friends with Wheels podcast. If I could just start off by asking, how you guys got started and what you guys do, that'd be great.
Yeah, so we are excited. We are part of Camp Kory. I'm Nicole. I'm the community engagement manager here at Camp Kory.
And I'm Abby. I'm our admissions coordinator.
And we are a camp for kids with complex and life-altering medical conditions. We just celebrated our 20th anniversary last year, so we have been going strong for over 20 years. We are a camp for kids with complex and life-altering medical conditions, and we do year-round programs 100% free of charge. So our camp started to honor the legacy of Corey Rose, who passed away at the age of 18 from bone marrow cancer, and his family wanted to do something to honor that legacy. So worked really hard to create what we are now today, which is Camp Kory. We're a proud member of the Serious Fun Children's Network that was founded by Paul Newman. And so there are camps throughout the United States and worldwide that do what we do as well. So we're proud to be part of that organization and give back in a lot of different ways throughout the area and beyond.
Mm-hmm. And so, what do you guys do at Camp Kory? Lay the groundwork. What sorts of things do you guys do to help people with disabilities?
All the fun.
All the fun.
Think of any camp, quintessential camp, and we offer that. We just make sure that everything that we do, like rock wall, archery, it's all adaptable. So the students, so the kiddos, I guess they're all students, can participate in whatever their ability might be.
So we do on-site summer camp program. Each week we have 7 sessions, correct, this summer. Each week of those are condition specific, so other kids can see other kids on similar medical journeys. We think that's really important for them to be able to navigate the world and, like I said, see other people who are sort of navigating the world the same way. Then we also do spring and fall family weekends. We do some pop-up programs that we call Family Day Adventures. So kids might go to the zoo for the day, or they might go to a baseball game, or they might spend a day at a state park. So we do those kind of programs. And then we also do a hospital outreach program called Camp to You, where we bring camp to kids in the hospital setting who can't quite make it to camp yet. So a lot of wide variety of programs that we offer.
And so, given that you have a wide array of programs, how do you sort of tailor, each individual's needs to the individual? Because one person might have one disability, and that he or she might not be as adapted to doing that sort of activity, like rock climbing, or let's say, I don't know, zip lining as an example. But yeah, how do you sort of tailor to each activity to a kid's needs?
Yeah, so through the application process, we have all of the questions that go into detail of ability, of fears, excitements, what the kid's looking forward to navigate that once they're on site. So we call it challenge by choice here. So we never want to force a camper to do anything, but we really encourage trying new things. So we always make sure that based off of their abilities, we only offer what they can participate in.
Yeah, and because our admission process is so in-depth, and Abby spent a lot of time chatting with the campers and their families and also going through our medical team, we know ahead of time what the sort of maybe barriers or accessibility needs are for our specific campers. So we know if a camper is going to have a difficulty participating in a specific activity, maybe we just adapt that activity for the entire camp that week. So we know a lot of times campers are in and out of hospital settings, maybe feel isolated because, they aren't able to participate in an activity fully. So we are very conscious of creating each week with sort of the campers that we have there in mind. So knowing that, if maybe archery just isn't going to work for one camper, maybe we just don't do it for that week, because we want to make sure that all of the kids that come to camp feel 100% supportive. They get the opportunity to be independent, they have autonomy, and they get to try new things and challenge by choice too. So we're really intentional throughout the entire application process and beyond in how we show up for kids. But we also then are creative in adapting programs too. So let's say archery, for instance. We not only have sort of your traditional bow and arrow, but then we've adapted one of those and created an adjustable crossbow with a clip. So if campers might not have the upper body strength to pull, or if they're in a wheelchair or a little person or something like that, that is adjustable to them and to their needs. So they can still fully participate in archery in the same way other campers would. So we're really intentional about how we go about creating and adapting our supplies and our different areas and our different program activities too.
And so what have parents said, like when they see their child, like, doing adaptive activities, have you gotten a chance to talk to parents, and what have they told you about their children's experience?
That's one of the best parts, because
Yeah.
it's usually like, wow, we never thought this would be a possibility, or they've been told no so many times. So it's often a joyful experience hearing from the parents of they got to do this and try this new thing.
And a lot of times I think it sparks something in the camper that maybe the parent didn't even know was sort of there as well, because we do like a stage night, which isn't a talent show. We encourage anyone to come up and participate in whatever way. And so have had campers in the past who went on stage and found this joy of performing that they never knew that they would have. And parents come back to us now and say, oh my gosh, they're like enrolled in, drama now. And now, some of these kids are now coming back and volunteering after they age out and wanting to then kind of pass along and encourage other kids to try new things and do those things too. So I think parents are constantly coming to us with these life-changing moments that you never really think about until it happens, and then you get to watch it. And maybe for the first time they got to ride a bike because it was an adaptive bike, and or maybe they got to go down a slip and slide for the first time because instead of running and sliding, we adapt it so it's pulled all the way down for all the campers. So everyone gets to participate. So I think parents often too walk away from Camp Kory with maybe a new inspired inspiration of like, oh, my kid can do more than maybe even I thought, and maybe they thought. And so they have these kind of aha, beautiful, warm, fuzzy moments that they get to walk away and maybe enroll their campers in some different programs or things that they might not have thought they would be excited about, but learned about at camp.
Yeah, how does Camp Kory go out of its way to build community, or like a group where people can sort of be a part of something? Do you guys have like social media groups? Do you have networking groups? What's the whole deal with that?
That's a good question. Yeah.
I mean, so like I said, each week is condition specific. So there are sort of some already established sort of organizations or groups. So like LPA is a good example, Little People of America. So like if kids are coming to maybe our skeletal dysplasia week, they may already have those external networks and friendships that they've connected with, and then can plug their new friends into those networks as well. Parents oftentimes too, we do family camp where the entire family gets to come. So not only the camper, but the sibling gets to come and the parent or caregiver also. And so a lot of times, because it is condition specific, they also then create maybe a Facebook group or a support email chain or something like that, where they can also just reach out to each other after their camp week experience is done and still have that community that's ongoing. A lot of our campers and their families have, Camp Kory pinged on their social media. So if they see an event coming up, they instantly show up for that if it's a community event. And so they then, bring their friends, or they participate in that and can see their friends from other camp experiences too.
Because you guys have been doing this for like 20 years. So like, what have you learned during that time? Just like sort like when you see each camper going in and out of Camp Kory, what can you sort of take away? Like, what sorts of things do you sort of reflect that you sort of said, oh, this was something that they enjoyed. This was something that they can remember for many, many years.
So I started on the the program side of the house about 7 years ago, and so have got to see a lot of sort of iterations of Camp Kory, because was here through the pandemic and through all of just sort of
Mhm.
what that brought into how do you create intentional programming for kids with disabilities in the middle of a pandemic, right? And so like pulling everything out of your toolbox to try and be as creative as possible. And so through that process, I have watched some kids and families that started, way before the pandemic happened, and so they missed sort of their last few years at camp because kids age out when they turn 18, and so had to kind of transition what that looked like, and then have watched kids who started during the pandemic and now are able to come in person and sort of seen that transition. And I think for me, the thing that I always just love so much is just how supported kids feel when they walk away from here. Like they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel like they have a place that belongs not only to them, but they belong to as well. And I think for me, watching sort of all of the different iterations of Camp Kory in the past few years, that's the thing that's always been so core and so staple and something that doesn't change, which I love.
I think for me, it's having the space for not only the camper, but the sibling, the parents to just be themselves and be accepted for whatever that looks like. And a phrase we have here is especially for caregivers, to rip up their cool cards. So like just watching these adults be silly and have fun, because a lot of their life is so serious or, intense, whether that's in the hospital or dealing with medical conditions, but just to watch them have fun and let loose. I love that aspect. Yeah.
Camp magic. And siblings too, when the whole family comes, a lot of times, not only the camper is in and out of the hospital setting, but the sibling is as well, if they are going to appointments and different things too. So giving them a space to be around other kids who understand their journey, I think is so powerful too. So not only is the camper having this camp experience, but their siblings and then their caregiver too. And so they're each unique in their time here at camp, but they walk away with that similar feeling of belonging.
And this next question, I think I've asked it before from a previous guest, which is like, since you guys do a lot of outdoor activities with individuals with disabilities, what sort of benefit does that have on the individual?
Great question. I mean, I think it builds confidence. A lot of times, there is just they spend a lot of times in and out of hospital settings or appointments, or they're told when they have to have surgery or when they're getting shots or when they're getting poked or whatever. And so giving them time outside to maybe skin their knees or have a little time with the birds, or do something out in the garden, or learn to ride a bike, or do these things that they've just never experienced. I think it gives them like I've said so many times, this sense of belonging, this confidence, and this just willingness to then try new things in their everyday life too, which I think is so powerful. So the fresh air. We're out here on 206 acres, and there's a lot of places to roam and explore, and pranks to be had and things like that too. So it's camp.
And being able to tell them yes, we can go do that. Whatever it is they might want to do, whether it's planning a prank or going from cabin to cabin or adventuring, we get to say yes to what they want to do. And that's cool.
And is there any sort of things that are coming up on your end that people should know about, or things that people should know?
I love that question. We're actually doing something new this year that I'm really excited about. It is called the Heart and Soul, not like your soul, but the sole of your shoe. Fun, run, and roll. And we are doing a 5K, and also I'm very excited about a 1K, which is not even a mile. And so this is just going to be a fun opportunity. We have this summer, our summer theme is called Waves of Wonder. And so for the event, there's different waves that they're running waves or rolling waves, and they're sort of different silliness. So you can have your fastest runners, your silly runners, the ones that want to dress up in costumes, whatever the case may be. So all of this, and I think for a lot of our campers, or just humans in general, myself included, running is maybe not at the forefront of your things that you're excited about. And so adding a 1K with we're saying there's no timing chips, there's only chocolate chips and potato chips. So it's just aimed to be fun, aimed to be silly. And when you get to the end, we're going to have a big finish line party with a foam pit, lots of community resources. Kids under 12 are free. And this is also, like I said, a community fundraiser. So getting people out here to our camp property so they can see what we do and just kind of experience it. It's September 19th, so there's lots of time. People can start a fundraising team if they wanted to and do that independently. If you have followers outside of the state, you could do a virtual run. There's no, you don't have to be on site necessarily to do it either. So just lots of fun ways. Everyone will get a medal at the end saying they ran and participated. It's not a participation trophy. You actually have to get to the finish line some way or the other. And so we just think that this is a really accessible, fun opportunity to not only highlight Camp Kory, but try something new and have a little fun doing it. So.
Oh, that's nice.
19th, come to camp.
Yeah.
And lastly, to kind of wrap this up, how can sort of Camp Kory make a difference in people's lives, but also make individuals with disabilities feel more included, seen and heard, like you said earlier?
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's it. Can you repeat that question maybe a little differently? So
what I was getting at is how does Camp Kory as a camp, make people with disabilities feel seen and included and heard, just kind of big picture.
I think we create a space for everyone to have a space, and I think whatever that looks like, whether that is you are in the swimming pool and you need your oxygen tank, so we buy inflatable sloth animals that your oxygen tank can come and hang out with you in the swimming pool, or partner with other local organizations like Little Bit Therapeutic Riding or Outdoors for All or things like that, where we just provide space for people with disabilities to just have an opportunity to explore who they want to be and who they want to become. And I think so often people with disabilities are kind of put into this box thinking okay, well, you have a wheelchair or you have a accessibility device or something, so you can't do this thing. And it's no, that's not how Camp Kory thinks about it. We flip it on its head and we say, how do we get to do this? And how do we get you out here? How do we get you to the top of the rock wall? How do we get you hitting a bullseye? How do we get you riding a bike for the first time? And so I think for me, that's so important and is kind of the big picture of why Camp Kory matters and why I want to continue being a part of it and working here and seeing these kids grow and these parents grow and siblings grow. And
I think it's a culture that's been set too. Each session we have returning families coming with new families, and they get to kind of show them the ropes, if you will, and bring them into the camp culture of what's the magic that's been created. The tradition and the fun. So
I'm really glad you mentioned Little Bit and Outdoors for All, because I used to be a camper for both of those organizations. So when I was little, so I'm very familiar. So it resonates with me. So
yeah, they're awesome.
And we know that we don't have all the skills, right? We know we are good at certain things, but we also know other organizations are really good at other things. And so, utilizing this entire resource and network of amazing organizations and creating spaces for us to work together and partner together, I think only strengthens the community that we get to be a part of too. And, they get to we all get to experience the magic of all these different programs and organizations together and grow together.
And what can people do to find out more information about Camp Kory, more information about the 5K or the 1K for those
Great question. Yeah, we all of the information can easily be found on our website. We are campkory.org is our website. We're also on Instagram, Facebook. You can find us there. We have all of our events posted there. So those are the easy ways to find us and learn more. Also, if you're kind of in the area or if you want to learn more, hit me up. I'm Nichol in the community engagement, and I'd love to give you a tour. You can come out here to camp and learn more. I think there's a magic once you enter the gate here that it's hard to describe until you get here. And so if people were interested in learning more and wanted to have that opportunity, we are heading into our busy season with summer camp, but we can make stuff work too. So come and have a tour. Lots of ways to learn more.
Yeah, lots of yeah, that sounds fun. Okay. Alrighty. Okay.